Hello, welcome to another, Random Talk Sunday. And today I thought it would be interesting to briefly address the sort of random topic of success and goals, and how I think that they are very important sort of, I guess, things to have within life, and how I think it can really help people out, and give you sort of my perspective on what they ultimately kind of mean. Um, I think there are tons of different ways in which you can define goals and success. And I mean, obviously, they're going to be different depending on the stage you are within life and all of that. But I think there's no clear cut, definition of a success uh, and a goal, because everybody has different goals and everybody has different successes in life, and sometimes some successes might be bigger or more outlandish than others, or some are just simple and just are designed to um, be sort of a push for people to move in, I guess, the right direction. So again, it's kind of a, a wide spectrum. But I think if you look at it through the broader sense, I think really ultimately having the kind of determination to sort of ultimately set goals and say, okay, I want to do this, 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 and this. I think really sort of ultimately ends up cultivating success. Not always, but I think depending, if you have obviously more goals and you try to apply certain things in a certain way, I think success is obviously a little bit more likely. And I think that also comes through with, the kinds of emotions that you have. Like if you are in a state of feeling like this isn't going to work, it's probably not going to work. And if you have certain ideas and you think it's not possible, and you give up, then obviously you're not going to get success, and if you give up on goals. So again, it's kind of one of those things where the more goals you have, the better. Or at least if something doesn't work, you try something new. You don't, you just keep kind of persisting. You don't give up on these concepts. You don't give up on goals, and you don't give up on the idea of eventually having some success. I think that's really what it all boils down to. And I think a lot of the positivity comes in through your confidence and how you're able to kind of lay all of these things out and kind of move yourself in that one particular direction. I think that's really how ultimately these things kind of work. You just have to kind of plan it out and see what eventually will work and what eventually won't. And that's kind of how you let things sort of fly, so to speak. And I I really do think that even though, we may not be recognized for certain successes that we may achieve in life, I think the greatest satisfaction is knowing that you did it, knowing that you were able to do it. I think that's really the biggest kind of reward, I guess you could say, you could receive for applying these various things. So I think it's important to have some kind of, direction in life, and, goals, they don't have to just be like work oriented or or just or or designed to just serve the needs of others. It can be, wanting to go travel somewhere, or, do something interesting, like I want to make a painting, you know. It doesn't have to be these really big, grandiose, make money scenarios. And I think that's sometimes something that people kind of miss too. Sometimes they always think the success ultimately amounts to getting X amount of money or whatnot. Um, But for me personally, I think success can be defined in a lot broader sense than just money, because I don't think really money buys people happiness. Obviously, it provides security, um, and provides foundation, and I think it's important for people to work hard and have incentives, and for people to try to make money. But I think we shouldn't promote this whole idea that it should be the be all end all of what somebody is. Like, I don't think somebody should just be defined by their, dollar amount or how much somebody's worth. I think they should be defined by really who they are as people, not about how much they have in their pocket. Because there's some people who've maybe built some fairly successful lives, and then unfortunately things maybe fall apart for them sometimes, or they lose their way, or et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I think really success and goals, I think, should be essential and should really push people forward. But I don't think we should constantly feel like we have to tie it in with some monetary value, or we need to have this amount. Um, I need to have this amount of money and then I'll be successful. It can, these things don't really need to tie into um, earnings potential. They can just tie into something that you just enjoy doing or want to explore or whatnot. I think that's really what ultimately should really be at the kind of forefront of this idea. And sometimes it's through knowledge too. You have this goal of wanting to obtain some certain kind of knowledge, and you just map it out how you want to obtain the knowledge and all that. So I think that's very important, and I think really success and goals are really an essential part of life. And I think people should really strive for having these kinds of things, and visioning themselves in the future, and seeing what they would like that to be, and trying to find ways into which that they can fulfill those goals and have those aspirations. I think that's really what it all boils down to. And I think if we reinforce the kind of positive thinking and tried to not be too pessimistic or try to constantly shove people down, the more likely people will be willing to have these goals and have success. I think the more we lift people up, the better off people will be, through encouragement and showing them how they can, you know, have these kinds of things. And success and goals are important and provide direction. And the more you have them, the more I think people are, at least for me, I think the more I feel kind of, I guess you could say, fulfilled, in some respects. So again, it could just be working out too, or all these things are just really an essential part of life. And some people just, I think a lot of people like to tie success and goals in with the career box, and it doesn't have to be just in the career box. It can be in all facets of life. And you can really lay things out to where you can really go out and seek things. And I think that's important. And I think the idea of just pushing yourself forward is really the important thing. And I think really having that support system and that network of people really does help. Um, but yeah, I think that's really ultimately all I can say when it comes to this topic. I think it's just something that's encompasses a lot of what people really strive for in life, is to have these concepts of goals and success. Um, but yeah, I think that's really ultimately all I can say. If there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.